Every man has felt it. That invisible wall behind a woman's smile. You talk, you try, you connect, but something stays distant. It's like there's a veil. You can't see it, but you feel it. That veil isn't made of mystery. It's made of emotions, stories, and hidden fears, all protecting one secret. And when you understand it, you can walk through it, not with force, but with presence. This isn't about fake confidence. It's about the ancient psychology of power, the kind Machiavelli knew. When you speak in a way that touches her emotions, you don't just make her listen, you make her feel. And when a woman feels seen, the wall disappears. You're not just learning how to talk to women, you're about to change how you see them and how they see you. If you're truly ready to change your life, write in the comments, "I'm ready to change." Because once you decide, everything shifts. Here's the first step to become the man who truly understands her, and the one she secretly desires. You must learn to see the invisible fortress she hides behind. Every woman lives within a fortress, not of walls or guards, but of stories. Each stone is a past experience, a betrayal, a disappointment carefully hidden behind her smile. When you talk to her, you're not just speaking to the woman in front of you, you're standing before the kingdom she built to protect herself. Most men never realize this. They rush in with compliments and charm, trying to impress, not realizing they're pounding at iron gates that were never meant to open for the noise. You can't break that door with intensity. You must slip through it with presence. Imagine this. You meet a woman who laughs easily, flirts lightly, and seems open. You think she's relaxed, but behind that warmth is caution. Her laughter is a test. Her stories are armor. Every gesture, every pause is a quiet measure of your intent. And while most men talk to her mask, you must talk to her kingdom, the part of her that wonders if you're different from the others who tried to storm her gates. To do that, you must first slow down, speak less, observe more. Watch her eyes when she speaks. Notice the moments she avoids. Her silence is not emptiness. It's a map of where she's been hurt. Machiavelli would say, "A ruler who enters a kingdom without understanding its laws will soon lose it." The same is true in human connection. You cannot lead her emotions if you don't understand the terrain of her heart. Here's the paradox. The more you try to win her, the more she defends. But the moment you stop trying to break in and start trying to understand the architecture of her walls, something shifts. You become the man she feels safe enough to lower the gates for. And once you're inside that fortress, even for a moment, she will never forget how it felt to be seen without armor, because no one else ever got that far. Now that you understand what her fortress is made of, the next step will reveal the hidden weakness inside it. The single lever that once touched makes the whole structure open on its own. Here's the second step to become the man who truly understands her and the one she secretly desires. You must uncover the hidden weakness buried beneath her walls. Every woman, no matter how confident she appears, carries one silent desire, the need to be understood. Not admired, not flattered, but seen. Truly seen beyond her looks, her charm, her armor. It's the craving she'll never confess, because to admit it would make her vulnerable, and yet it's the very key to her soul. Think of it like this. She spends her life performing. At work, she's composed. With friends, she's radiant. On social media, she's perfect, but deep inside, she's waiting for someone who can read between the lines, someone who can sense what she feels, even when her words hide it. Most men never see that. They chase her image and ignore her essence. They speak to her face, but never to her heart. Machiavelli would have smiled knowingly here. He would have whispered, "The strongest fortress is often conquered not by siege, but by being understood." Because when a woman feels understood, her defenses turn into doors. She begins to open, not because you asked her to, but because her heart decides it's safe. Picture this. You're sitting with her in a quiet cafe. She's talking about her day, casual, routine, but in the middle of her sentence, her voice softens. She mentions someone who disappointed her. Most men would rush to fix it or change the subject. You don't. You simply look at her, nod slowly and say, "That must have felt like you weren't being heard." In that instant, she looks at you differently. You didn't solve her problem. You saw her pain, and that's what no one else ever does. That's how you touch her hidden weakness, through awareness, not effort, through observation, not performance. Because the truth is, she doesn't want a man who worships her. She wants one who understands her. But here's the twist. Once you awaken that feeling in her, you also awaken something else: curiosity. She begins to wonder how you see so deeply. She starts to feel that magnetic pull, the mystery of a man who sees what others can't. And that's when the dynamic shifts. She's no longer testing your worth. She's trying to figure you out. Machiavelli would have leaned closer and said softly, "When you become the man who sees her truth, you also become the mystery she cannot solve." And that mystery is where obsession begins. Now that you know what her weakness truly is, the next step is to learn how to use it. Not to manipulate her, but to build an invisible power around you. That's the Machiavellian strategy. Here's the third step to become the man who truly understands her, and the one she secretly desires. You must master the Machiavellian strategy, the art of appearing while revealing nothing. Every man talks, few create presence. And presence isn't built on words, it's built on control. Control of your tone, your timing, your curiosity. Control of what you reveal and what you leave unsaid. When you talk to a woman, you're not just exchanging words, you're creating energy. Each sentence you say either raises her curiosity or kills it. The mistake most men make is they try to prove who they are. Instead of projecting who they are, they overshare, over-explain, over-perform. But Machiavelli would have leaned back, smiled faintly and warned, "He who shows all his cards teaches his enemies how to play him." The same rule applies in attraction. You don't need to show everything. You need to imply more than you say. Imagine this scene: you're sitting across from her. She asks, "So, what kind of woman do you like?" Most men answer directly, listing traits, smiling nervously, trying to impress. But you pause, look her in the eyes and say, "It's less about a type, more about the energy. Some people just make the room feel lighter." Then you smile faintly and change the subject. You didn't answer. You made her think. You didn't chase her curiosity. You triggered it. That's the difference between conversation and strategy. You don't chase attention, you command it. You don't explain yourself, you imply depth. The art lies in how little you reveal and how intentionally you reveal it. Speak slowly. Let your pauses breathe. Use silence like a sculptor uses space to shape attention. A woman's mind fills gaps with imagination. When you stop giving everything away, she begins to fill those gaps with you. Machiavelli would have urged you, let her imagination serve your purpose. The mind creates stronger illusions than words ever can. The result, you become a presence she can't fully define, and that's what pulls her closer. Because a mystery isn't something to avoid, it's something the human mind must solve. So remember this. You don't win her by trying to be transparent. You win her by being strategically visible. A man who knows when to speak and when to hold silence becomes magnetic because he doesn't chase emotion. He directs it. And now that you know how to create that aura, that sense of mystery and command, the next step will warn you about the most dangerous mistake men make once they discover this power: using it for manipulation instead of mastery. Here's the fourth step to become the man who truly understands her and the one she secretly desires. You must learn to carry power without poisoning it. Influence is like fire. It can illuminate or destroy depending on the hand that holds it. Once you learn how to make a woman open up, how to move her emotions and direct her focus, the temptation to use that power selfishly becomes immense. But Machiavelli would have raised a finger and cautioned, "He who rules through deceit builds his throne on sand." If you use understanding as a weapon, if you mirror her emotions just to pull her closer, if you fake empathy just to feed your ego, you may win her body for a night, but you'll lose her soul forever. Because the energy of manipulation always reveals itself, not immediately, but inevitably. Think of it this way: a man who uses connection as a trick is like a thief who breaks into a temple. He may take what he wants, but he will never be allowed back inside. Trust, once broken, never rebuilds the same. But when you carry power with respect, when you make her feel safe instead of exposed, something remarkable happens. She begins to trust you with her truth. Not because you demanded it, but because your calmness gives her permission to be. Picture this: you're in the middle of a deep conversation. She says something vulnerable, then laughs nervously to cover it up. Most men would jump in, reassure her, overtalk, or try to fix the moment. You don't. You hold the silence. Look at her with quiet understanding and say, "You don't have to explain. I get it." That's when she exhales. That's when she feels peace in your presence, because you didn't use her weakness, you honored it. Machiavelli would have smiled faintly and said, "Power that preserves is greater than power that conquers." Real strength doesn't roar, it reassures, it doesn't dominate, it stabilizes. When your influence comes from authenticity instead of manipulation, you become the kind of man whose energy can't be faked or copied. Because in a world full of performers, the one who doesn't act rules. And now that you understand how to wield power responsibly, the next step will teach you the mindset that turns this control into calm. The inner state that makes you untouchable, no matter who you're speaking to. Here's the fifth step to become the man who truly understands her, and the one she secretly desires. You must cultivate the Stoic mindset, the power to stay unshaken when everyone else seeks validation. Most men talk to women from a place of tension. They want to be liked, approved, admired. Every reaction she gives them, a smile, a silence, a sigh, changes their emotional temperature. They rise when she approves, they fall when she withdraws. Their inner world becomes a mirror of her mood. But Machiavelli would have smirked and said, "He who depends on another's favor builds his peace on a storm." The Stoic man builds differently. He doesn't rely on external validation. His calm doesn't come from her attention. It comes from his self-command. You can see it in his eyes. His words are slower, his gestures more deliberate. When she tests him with teasing or distance, he doesn't react. Not because he doesn't care, but because he's not ruled by impulse. His power lives in restraint. Imagine this. She challenges you mid-conversation. She says, "You think you're mysterious, but you're just avoiding connection." Most men would defend themselves, over-explain, or get irritated. You instead smile calmly and reply, "Maybe." Or maybe connection just needs silence to grow. Then you look away for a second, as if you've already said enough. That one sentence, said with composure, shifts everything. You didn't argue. You redirected the frame. You became the mirror she wasn't expecting. That's the Stoic advantage. When you stay centered, she feels your gravity. She senses that your emotions aren't easily moved. And it makes her curious, because women don't fall for chaos, they fall for certainty. The certainty of a man who knows himself so well that no external force, not her silence, her beauty, or her tests, can move him off balance. Machiavelli would have advised, "The ruler who cannot rule himself will never rule others, so learn to rule yourself first. Control your breathing, slow your speech, don't chase comfort in every silence. Let her feel that your attention is deliberate, not desperate." The man who embodies peace creates fascination, because peace in today's world feels rare. And that's the paradox. The calmer you are, the more tension she feels. The less you chase her reaction, the more her mind starts to chase yours. Now that you've mastered control of your words and emotions, it's time to understand the power hidden not in speech, but in what most men fear the most: silence. Here's the sixth step to become the man who truly understands her and the one she secretly desires. You must master the silence between words, the most underestimated weapon of influence. Most men fear silence. The moment a conversation slows, they panic. They rush to fill the air, to keep her entertained, to make sure she's not bored. But in doing so, they destroy the very thing that creates emotional gravity: space. Silence, when held with confidence, is not emptiness. It's pressure, it's presence. It's the invisible tension that makes her lean closer without knowing why. Machiavelli would have whispered, "He who speaks too much teaches others the limits of his power." You see, silence communicates something words never can: control. When you pause, you're saying, "I'm not here to impress, I'm here to observe." You're showing her that your comfort doesn't depend on her reaction, that you don't need to chase approval, and that confidence hits deeper than any compliment ever could. Imagine this scene. You're on a date. She asks a question meant to test you, maybe a playful jab or something slightly provocative. Instead of jumping in with explanations or defenses, you simply look at her, hold her gaze, and let the silence stretch just long enough for her to feel it. Then you smile slightly and answer calmly, almost softly. In that pause, you've said more than 100 men could say in hours. You've made her feel your composure. The human mind cannot stand empty space. It rushes to fill it with meaning. So when you pause, she starts filling it with questions. What is he thinking? Did I say something wrong? Why does he seem so calm? That curiosity is attraction in disguise, because she's no longer in control of the rhythm. You are. Silence turns conversation into a dance. You lead not with noise, but with timing. You let your pauses breathe like poetry, subtle, deliberate, confident. Each one adds weight to your words and makes her feel something most men never evoke: anticipation. Machiavelli would have smirked and said, "Power speaks best through what it withholds." So use your silence as a weapon of mystery. Let your stillness be felt. Let her imagination do the work for you. Because in the end, words can only describe, but silence can ignite. And now that you understand how to make her feel your presence without noise, the next step will show you how to mirror her emotions, not to manipulate, but to make her feel profoundly understood. Here's the 7th step to become the man who truly understands her and the one she secretly desires. You must become her mirror, not the kind that reflects what she already sees, but the one that reveals what she's never dared to face. Every woman carries 2 selves, the one she shows the world and the one she hides even from herself. Most men speak to the first, the confident, polished version, built to survive attention. But the man who truly captivates her speaks to the second. He sees through her tone, reads through her pauses, and senses the emotions she doesn't verbalize. Machiavelli would have murmured, "To rule a soul, one must first understand its fears." This is where most men fail. They rush to impress or debate, trying to prove they're smart or charming. But influence doesn't come from outshining her. It comes from understanding her. And understanding starts with stillness. You listen not to reply, but to reveal. You pay attention to her rhythm, the shift in her voice when she speaks about something that matters, the flicker in her eyes when she's protecting a memory, the silence that falls when her heart hesitates. When you respond, you don't mirror her words, you mirror her essence. If she's nervous, you don't get nervous with her. You stay grounded, letting her tension dissolve in your calm. If she's excited, you don't compete for attention. You stabilize her, giving her emotions something to rest against. And when she's vulnerable, you don't fix her. You name what you see softly, confidently. You care deeply even when you try not to. That single sentence, said with quiet certainty, can open more doors than hours of conversation. Because you've shown her something no one else did. You see her, not her mask. Think of this like emotional aikido. You don't push, you redirect. You let her emotions move toward you, and then you ground them in your stillness. The result is fascination, because being understood is the most addictive feeling a human can experience. Machiavelli would have smiled and warned, "Loyalty is born not from power, but from reflection." When a woman feels emotionally mirrored by you, she bonds beyond logic. She doesn't just want you, she trusts you. And that trust is what transforms attraction into obsession. So be her mirror, but a strong one. Don't reflect her chaos, reflect her potential. Show her who she becomes in your presence. Calmer, freer, more alive. That's when she starts craving you, not as a man, but as a state of being. Now that you know how to reflect her deepest self, the next step will reveal why every woman tests your strength and how passing those tests turns you from a fleeting spark into her steady fire. Here's the 8th step. To become the man who truly understands her and the one she secretly desires. You must pass the fortress test, the moment she challenges you to see if your strength is real. Every woman, consciously or not, tests the man standing before her, not to hurt him, but to measure him. Just as a fortress raises its walls to test an invader's courage, she raises emotional barriers to test your stability. Machiavelli would have said, every ruler must test the loyalty of those who seek entry. Her tests can take many forms, teasing your confidence, questioning your intentions, or withdrawing suddenly to see how you react. Most men panic, they chase, over-explain, or apologize, proving they were never strong, only pretending to be. But the man who passes the test stays calm. He smiles, stays composed, and continues living by his rhythm. He doesn't crumble when she pulls away. He simply lets her, because he knows that real attraction isn't built on constant reassurance, but on unshakable certainty. Picture this. She throws a sarcastic comment, waiting for you to flinch. Instead, you pause, grin slightly, and reply, "You'll have to try harder than that." The tone is light, but the message is clear. You're not afraid. And in that instant, something shifts. Her challenge turns into curiosity. Her guard starts to lower. When you stay composed under her tests, you prove that your calm isn't an act. It's your nature. And that's when she begins to trust you, not just as a man, but as a fortress of your own. Because no woman truly wants to conquer a man she can control. She wants to stand next to a man who stands tall, even when she pushes him. Now that you've mastered how to withstand her tests, the final step will show you how to turn this entire understanding, power, restraint, and presence into something timeless. Something that changes not just your relationships, but your destiny. Here's the 9th and final step. To become the man who truly understands her and the one she secretly desires, you must master the eternal game, the art of influence that outlasts attraction itself. Every man can learn tactics, but few understand timing. Every man can spark attention, but only the rare few sustain it. Machiavelli would have quietly advised, "Power that lasts is power that evolves." This game isn't about tricks, pick-up lines, or short-term victories. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that influence becomes effortless. You stop chasing connection, you embody it. You stop seeking approval, you command it without words. When you speak, your tone carries certainty. When you listen, you do it with patience, not hunger. When you walk into a room, you don't try to be noticed. You simply radiate. That's what real presence feels like. The eternal game is about rhythm, when to speak and when to hold silence, when to reveal and when to stay mysterious, when to lean in and when to pull away. Most men operate on impulse. The wise man operates on strategy. He understands that women, like empires, are drawn to those who lead themselves first. And when you reach this level, you stop asking how to attract her. You become the man she tries to understand. Because at that point, the game no longer revolves around her. It revolves around your gravity, your purpose, your calm, your command of self. Machiavelli would have smiled and said, "The world belongs to those who rule themselves before ruling others." So play the eternal game. Speak less, mean more, act less, impact more. Become the man whose silence says everything and whose presence rewrites every room he enters. And when you do, obsession won't be something you chase. It will be the natural consequence of your power. Remember this. Everything you've learned here isn't about controlling women, it's about mastering yourself. Because once a man controls his emotions, his silence, his rhythm, and his focus, he becomes unstoppable. Stop waiting to feel ready. Power doesn't arrive one day. It's forged every moment you choose discipline over doubt, focus over fear, calm over chaos. You don't need to become someone else. You only need to strip away the noise until what's left is the person you were meant to be. So go build, go become. Because from this moment on, you're no longer chasing power, you are power. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men and that you'll actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So, let's build minds that don't break.